Hello and welcome. Today, we are going to tackle a challenge that I think we can all relate to. How to talk about numbers and charts and actually sound confident doing it. You know that moment, right? A graph pops up on screen, all eyes turn to you, and you freeze. Well, we're going to turn that moment of pressure into your chance to absolutely shine.
So, let's be real for a second. Does this look familiar? If you've ever felt your stomach do a little flip when it's time to explain a chart, trust me, you are in very good company. It's a super common fear, but the good news is it's totally fixable.
So where does that anxiety even come from? Well, most of the time, it's not actually about the numbers themselves. It's about not having the right words, not knowing how to describe what you're seeing. So this isn't a math problem, it's really a language problem.
Yeah, looking at a bunch of data can feel pretty intimidating, but I promise you it doesn't have to be that way. The whole point of this explainer is to give you a simple, powerful toolkit of words that will let you talk about any piece of data with total clarity and, best of all, confidence.
All right, let's get right to it and build that toolkit. We're going to focus on a handful of core words that are basically the foundation for any great data presentation. Once you master these, everything else gets so much easier.
And here they are. Think of these 10 words as your new best friends. We've got words that show movement, like increase and decrease. We've got words for results, like profit and loss. We've got words for measuring things, like percent and projection. Let's walk through them and see exactly how they work.
Let's start with the absolute basics. Movement. Increase and decrease. It's that simple. Are the numbers going up or are they going down? These are the cleanest, most direct words you can use to describe a trend, so they should always be top of mind.
Next up, let's talk about the bottom line. Profit, which is the same as a gain, is what you want. It's the money left over after you've paid all the bills. A loss, well, that's the opposite, and it tells an equally important story. These two words pretty much define success or challenge in any business.
And how do we measure time? Well, in business, you'll hear the word quarter all the time. It's just a fancy way of saying a 3-month period, Q1, Q2, and so on. Using this term just shows you get the rhythm of how companies track their performance.
Okay, so we've got the words. Now for the really fun part. Let's stop just defining our vocabulary and actually start using it. We're going to see how to turn a boring, static chart into a really dynamic and interesting story.
Okay, check out our first example. This is a simple line graph that shows sales profits over 5 years. At first glance, it's just a squiggly line, right? But with our new toolkit, we can make this line talk.
But before you even use your keywords, you need a way to ease into it. Don't just jump in cold. Use a simple, professional opening phrase. Saying something like, as you can see, invite your audience to look with you. Overall, tells them you're about to give the big picture. These phrases are like your launch pad.
Now, let's put it all together. Take a look at this sentence. Overall, profit saw a slight gain, followed by a sharp decrease. See that? In one single sentence, using profits, gain, and decrease, we've just told the entire 5-year story of that chart. That is how you sound clear, concise, and totally in control. Let's try another one. This bar chart is comparing total sales to total expenses. A chart like this is all about one thing, comparison. What is the relationship between these two bars? That's the story we need to tell. And here's how you'd explain it. You start with, as you can see. Then you state the key relationship. Our expenses were higher than our sales, and the result? We had a loss. You see, you haven't just read two numbers off a chart. You've given them the main takeaway, the headline. All right, one more. This donut chart shows us where all the money is going. Charts like this are awesome for showing proportions. Our job as the presenter is to point out the most important part. So, where's the biggest slice of the pie, and what does it mean?
Look at how we can bring this to life. We use percent to frame it. It's the biggest piece. But then we use words like double and amount to make a really powerful comparison. We're not just saying business travel is 60%. We're saying it's more than double what we spent on marketing. Now that's a story that has some real impact. So, talking about the past is one thing, but truly great presenters, they also look to the future. This is where you really show you have command of the information by talking about what might happen next. And the key word for that is projection. A projection isn't just a wild guess, it's an educated forecast based on the very data you've just been explaining. This is your chance to guide the conversation about what's coming down the road.
So after you've explained what happened, take a breath and offer a projection. You could say something like, based on these rising expenses, my projection is that we'll continue to see a loss next quarter unless we get a handle on travel costs. Bam! You've just connected your data story to future strategy.
All right, so what does this all boil down to? We've covered a bunch of ground, but the path to becoming a confident data presenter is actually pretty straightforward. Let's just quickly recap the main message here. Here are your 3 keys to success. It's really this simple. 1. Start with a simple opening phrase. 2. Use that precise vocabulary we just talked about. Increase, profit, percent. And 3, which is the most important, remember that your job is to use those words to tell a clear, simple story. That's it. That's the whole secret.
By focusing on the language, not just the numbers, you can totally transform how you present data. It's not about being a math genius, it's about being a clear communicator. So the next time a chart gets thrown your way, you're going to be more than ready. You're going to be confident.